We have breaking news. Let's get right to it.
Past 24 hours, we've seen 34 new cases of COVID-19 here in Utah.
Following breaking news out of Utah, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hitting just after 7 a.m. local time, about 10 miles west of Salt Lake City.
You need 100 to 150,000 tests a day.
Oh man, we back to podding. Salute to my man Diddy. Oh man, what's going on, y'all? It's your man Drerawka. Thank you for tuning in to Iso20 Podcast, a podcast to get you through your quarantine, to get you through your isolation if you're isolated right now. A podcast to just hopefully uplift you during your day. You know, a lot of times we go through our days and we look for an escape. And for me personally, my escape is music and podcasts. You know, if I get tired of hearing somebody talk, then I'll pop in an album, or you know, vice versa. If I don't want to listen to music, then I will go ahead and you know turn on a podcast. And I have my weekly podcasts that I listen to, ones that I frequent. Right, the other side of the Beehive, the Young OG Perspective, DB Big Buddha, even the Good Girl with Becca Hayes, I believe is her last name. The Geek Show podcast, you know, Bodega Boys, The Brilliant Idiots, all the usual ones, right? All the ones that I've told you guys about plenty of times. So hopefully I'm that for you in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully I'm in your routine. Shout out to the train that just went by. All the long-time listeners know about the train. I do live by a train, so you'll hear a train run by periodically. Man, how is everybody? How is everybody doing? Sorry it took me forever to get this episode out. I usually pod at the beginning of the week, but this week has just been nuts. It's been a crazy week, and that's why I don't commit to a certain time or day that I tell you guys to tune in, because I don't know when it's gonna come out. I pod when I feel like it. I pod when you know I want to get it out. You know, this is kind of my decompression, So thank you. Just thank you for listening. I really appreciate it on whatever audio device you're listening to. Or if you're on YouTube, shout out to the YouTube gang. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, damn, do I want to put up the camera? Do I want to put a shirt on? Because y'all don't want to see me with a shirt off. I don't want to see me with a shirt off. I get it. So, but yeah, I'll get some visuals out for you guys. I just realized that my last episode is still chilling in it hasn't been made public on YouTube, so I'll be making that public here soon. I just forgot to hit public on it. I have a bunch of videos like chilling, and sometimes I forget that, I need to either schedule them or hit public on it. So, but yeah, that will be dropping here soon. A lot has happened this week. A lot of good stuff, right? A lot of good things. The energy this week has been phenomenal. It has been a great week, and I can't say anything that isn't positive about this week, right? And we don't want to. We want to focus on the positive. We want to focus on the good things, right? We don't want to invite the negative energy into our life. So, yeah. Let's see. So last Friday and last Saturday, I was at a bar named Sioux. So Friday, I was at a bar named Sioux State. And then Saturday, I was at Highland for UFC 251, which was Usman versus Masvidal, right? And then Volkanovski versus Holloway. And then Jan versus Jose Aldo. So my picks for this event were, for the main event, I had a feeling that Usman would win. He was the favorite. But my soul and everything that I love wanted Masvidal to win, just because I like Masvidal. I like the way he carries himself. He's the underdog, right? He's the man that has a record. I think it was a knockout in 5 seconds over. Holy shit! What's that dude's name? Oh my gosh, Justin's gonna kill me. The curly haired fuck. Oh my gosh, it's gonna come to me at after the podcast or whatever. But just so Masvidal is just like, he's just really killing it right now, and the way he carries himself is just really dope. And so I was really wanting him to win, but I knew Usman would win. And sure enough, Usman won, but it was by decision. So, they went the distance. Masvidal took the fight on 6-day notice because Usman originally was supposed to fight Burns, right? But then Burns he came down with COVID, and obviously the UFC is not letting fighters that tested positive for COVID fight right now. So Masvidal got the call. They worked out the deal. They were like, they worked out the money deal because for a while there, Masvidal was not fighting because he wasn't getting the money that he feels he's deserved. And, rightfully so. Like, if you feel like you're not getting the money that you deserve and you're putting in the work and you're in this type of line of field, you're selling pay-per-views and you are that marquee athlete, damn right, fight for your money. Fight for your fucking money because you deserve it. And I think Masvidal does deserve some money because, after what he did to who's the curly-haired fuck? Ben Askren. Oh, see? Right there. I knew it. Ben Askren. So right after Ben Askren and then Nate Diaz, he got the BMF title. He has superstars tweeting his name. He has The Rock calling them on FaceTime and they're homies. They both from Miami. Masvidal does deserve some money. He deserves more than what he was getting, for sure. And I'm glad that he's fighting for it. So they made that right, and we got the fight that we wanted to see on 6-day notice. What a lot of people don't say when they're like, yeah, he only got 6-day notice to fight Usman. That's who Masvidal was training for in the first place. Because if you remember right, when Burns and Usman happened, it was because Masvidal said, I'm not taking less money, or I'm not taking the same amount of money. I need more money to fight Usman. I need more money for this pay-per-view to go to Fight Island, all this stuff. And so that was the original fight that he was training for. Granted, once that was off, I'm sure he went back to pizza and McDonald's and he wasn't really training. He's always training. I feel like a fighter always trains, but maybe not strategic for Usman, right? But that was the original fight that he was training for. So when people say he only had 6 days notice to fight, I get it. The travel, right? The testing, everything that led up to it. Yeah, there's a lot there. But at the same time, you should have been training for this man all along. So I don't know. But so Usman won. So I got that one right, even though I really wanted Masvidal to win. In the co-main event, which was the featherweight fight, Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway. I was actually I think I picked Holloway on this one. And, it went Volkanovski's way by decision in the 5th round, went the distance. But the world really feels like Holloway won. I have to watch it back. Because when I was watching it in the present, I was kind of on the fence. But I hope Max really does get a bounce back on this one. As far as I hope that his rankings don't fall too low to where he's just not in the name of or in the running for the belt, right? And then in the bantamweight division, this was the 3rd title fight match on this card. Petter, I think it's Petter, but people call him Peter. I think it's Petter Yan, and Jose Aldo. This one I was definitely going for Yan. Aldo, I feel that he hasn't been the same since McGregor, since the 14-second KO. But nobody could take away his legacy. Nobody could take away what Aldo brought to Ultimate Combat, right? Mixed martial arts. He changed the bantamweight division. Not only that division, like he changed what it meant to be a champion, right? And a winner. And, alongside Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo was that man and still is that man for Brazil, right? And we'll see what happens with him. As you can see, the format of this podcast today isn't personal news and then sports. just because, I really wanted to get this out for you guys. And, I'm gonna lie, it takes a lot to get these episodes out as far as editing and everything like that. So the format on this episode is a little bit different, just so I can, make sure I'm staying consistent. I believe this is episode 21 as well. But yeah, so we were at a bar named Sue. We watched the fights, and when I say we, Bad Boy Brian showed up. So salute to Bad Boy Brian. He's actually training for a test that he has coming up for his job, and it sounds painful. It sounds like it was like 2 weeks of training, and then are studying in this class, and then a week where he has to study on his own, and then he takes the test. So good luck to my mans, because that sounds intense. And then the other side of the Beehive showed up. So yes, both Angel and Justice showed up, and then Justin's friend Jason showed up and watched the fights with me. And yeah, it was a good time. Then it's always a good time kicking it with those guys. And I wish, Justin, if you're listening to this, Justin, I wish you would start your MMA podcast, just because I haven't really followed an MMA podcast. I mean, there's the ones with Shab and everything like that, but those are kind of like, I don't want to say overplayed, but I would like to see another opinion, or maybe if there is a UFC or mixed martial arts podcast out there that you listen to, let me know, because I'm looking to always open my podcast library, because I ain't gonna lie, like Mondays be lit, and then like Mondays episodes usually go into Tuesday, because I don't really get to listen to all of them on Monday, and then Thursday's lit and Saturday's lit, but Wednesday, Friday, Sundays, like there's really no podcast. So let me know what you're listening to. I would love to open up my library and add to my library. And again, thank you to everyone that showed up to a bar named Sue at Highland and State. I've been playing at Highland a little bit more now, just because the bar, they're usually a band bar, meaning that they usually book live bands, but with the stage of social distancing, not being able to have more than 50, I think it's 50 to 100 people or something like that. Not being able to be at capacity, it doesn't really make sense to bring in a whole live band, and it doesn't make sense for the band either, right? Because they're not able to play at full blast and have that engagement with the crowd that they usually would if there wasn't social distancing. So it makes sense to have a DJ, because everybody can kind of vibe out and whatnot. So that's the reason why I'm playing more at Highland too, just to kind of help balance out between the two bars. So again, thank you to everybody that shows up. Some nights are better than others. It's really a toss-up at this point to see if we're gonna have a good night or have a long drawn out night. And yeah, so thank you for all the support there. Work has been crazy at my 9 to 5. Work has been nuts. Let me get some water. Yeah, so I'm not gonna tell you guys where I work, just because I'm not gonna do that. I don't think that's a smart idea. But at my work, I'm currently training a whole new department of, like, man, I think we have about 86 new employees in this new department, and they're brand new, so they don't know much, right? And so it's time consuming. I'm doing like 3 hours of training a day, and just making sure that I'm building these people up for success, because anytime you start a new job, whoever's training you, they have a lot that riding on it, right? Because it's a reflection of you. So if they come out and they're not doing so hot, people are gonna look at you and be like, yo, like, why isn't this person understanding this or whatever? So it gets a little bit intimidating, but I'm always up for the challenge. I have great coworkers that are really supportive, and I have a great team. My whole company is really dope. as far as, you know, the support that we give each other and the love that we give each other. But just like any other job, you know, it gets a little tiring sometimes, and, you know, you have your days, but I think that with COVID, and this virus, this quarantine, this pandemic, everything that goes into the pandemic, I think it opens up your eyes to certain opportunities and certain things that you've either worked your ass off for and that you have, and maybe you get comfortable. It opens your eyes to that. I know it has for me. You know, at my job, there was times where I complained, and this was pre my surgery. So about a year and a half ago, I would complain at my job. I would be like, maybe not to anyone specifically, but I would be like in my head, like, gosh, like, ugh. And then I had my surgery, and it put things in perspective. And I think it put things even more in perspective, going into this pandemic, you know, the opportunities that I have, because, you know, at one point I was praying for a callback for an interview, right? For a job. You know, when I first started this job, I've been at this job 7 years, and my first son just got born, and was about to be born. He wasn't born yet, and it because I was at, like, you know, your little teenage job when I first had when we first had my son, or when we first got pregnant, right? I was at a different job, and it was kind of, you know, a little bit over minimum wage, but nothing that I can really provide for a whole family, right? And now I'm transitioning from worrying about myself to now worrying about, you know, my lady, my son to be, and everything like that. You know, I had a broke down car. I had car problems. It was a bad spot, right? But then I got into this job, and it really changed the perspective on things. And I think that ever so often we go through these type of situations where it reminds us, like, count your blessings, because when you had your family come in, you were praying for an interview, you were praying for a callback. Funny story is that when I first applied for my job that I have now, I was denied. They said, I forget what they said. It wasn't that I wasn't qualified. I forget what it was. Whatever the reasoning, I didn't get the job. And then I just got another opportunity to apply again, right? And when I did, I got hired on right on the spot, and it was the greatest thing. The person that hired me, we had a good relationship, and it was a good working relationship. He was a great boss, right? And then I just took opportunities within that job, and because I understood that, I was like, man, like, I was just praying for an opportunity, and now I have one. Take advantage of my opportunity. And sorry to draw this out, but I really just wanted to convey that we all have these events in our lives that happen, whether if it's you going through a maybe almost losing your life, right? Like me with my surgery. I didn't know if I was going to be alive. I didn't know if I was going to be paralyzed, right? So to come out of that, I had a new outlook on life. And, you know, the same thing with the pandemic. It's like, yeah, you may have a new outlook on the things that you are being told you can't do, right? Like, you have to wear a mask everywhere. Like, were we not taking advantage of, like, not wearing a mask before? I don't know if that makes sense. But hopefully I'm trying to convey that, you know, we go through these things that change our outlook on life, and this being one of them. So so when I say that work has been crazy, I'm happy it's crazy. I'm happy that I get to work. I'm happy that, you know, life is going good right now. You know, with life being so good and so great, you know, my lady announced online that we are expecting a little girl in November. So we're super excited about that. My oldest son is really excited to have a sister finally, because he had his little brother, and he loves his little brother, but he wants a little sister. So he's getting that. And I've talked to my lady, and looks like I'm gonna be joining Angel in the Snip Snip Club, and gonna be getting my I don't know what the damn thing is called. My ball snipped, I guess. Essentially, that's what it is. Water break. So we're really excited about that, and thank you to everybody that has asked and has, you know, showed love about it. And, you know, I was actually Angel asked me, you know, he's like, yeah, I haven't seen you guys announce anything online. I didn't want to say nothing on my podcast. And, you know, I was explaining to him that, you know, with my first son, I learned that announcing it online kind of draws some fake love. And let me explain. So I could say, you know, we're expecting a child, and, you know, on like Facebook or something, and everybody's like, oh, congratulations, oh, blah, blah, blah. Can't wait to meet the little guy, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, uncle and auntie, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, right? And then my son comes, and don't nobody want to come see my son. Don't nobody wish him a happy birthday. Don't nobody go out of their way to say, yo, how's the family doing? How's your son doing? You know, it's flu season. You guys good on everything? Like, nobody shows that they care enough about my son. So why post that fake stuff online, right? So it kind of deterred me. Like, I wasn't really vocal about my second son, and I'm not really vocal about my daughter to be, just because, you know, the folks that know, then they're gonna be like, you know, they've asked, right? They've asked, like, yo, have you guys ever thought about having another kid? I'm like, yo, by the way, I am pregnant right now. Like, we're pregnant, you know, things like that. So, but yeah, that's kind of why, that's my take on like the whole announcing a pregnancy, or, you know, a new addition to your family. Yeah, but man, I'm super excited. We got a name, and I've been talking to my lady about spelling and whatnot, but the name that we're looking at is Anaya Naima McKay Adams. That's kind of like set in stone. I don't think we're gonna change it. I don't plan on changing it anytime. My lady doesn't either. So yeah, we're really excited about it. Yeah, so we've been dealing with that, appointments and things like that, and it's kind of bizarre because I can't really go to appointments because the doctor's office is only allowing patients, right? So the mother, which is kind of sucks, but I at least got to see the ultrasounds. I got to go to those kind of appointments just because it's a different. Here's the weird thing: it's a different company, but they're in the same office, so it's bizarre. It's weird. But yeah, I'll give you guys some updates maybe on here. Maybe this will be my outlet for that portion of my life. I've been thanking you guys so much for joining me on this journey, and I do it genuinely. Like, I really do appreciate the support. The YouTube gang has been blowing up like crazy. We are just about to reach 300 subscribers. Actually, matter of fact, let me check right now. Subscriber count right now, month to date, right now, what is it? July 19th, 2020 at 7:20 p.m. We have reached 301 subscribers. YouTube gang, I'm showing y'all right now. We have reached 301 subscribers. When I checked earlier today, we were at 299. We've reached 301. Thank you so much. And a lot of that comes from another opportunity that I have, I don't want to say be given, another opportunity that has been presented to me, which is working with U92 as a digital correspondent. So you may have seen like some of my content on U92's Instagram page, or the Facebook or YouTube, or even on the radio. But yeah, so I'm doing some digital work with U92, and yesterday Saturday, I was invited to DJ the Sticker Slap. So what it was cars would line up, and we were lined up on the east side of Valley Fair Mall. For those of you that don't live in Utah, it's a mall here in Utah. We were lined up outside the All-Star lanes on the east side of the building, and cars lined up, and each one that pulls up, right, they get to choose between 1 and 100, right? There's a board, and it has numbers 1 through 100, and they get to pick a number. And if they pick a number, and then it has a prize associated to the number. Some of them are like t-shirts, some of them are gift bags from other stores within the mall, some of them are there was earpods, right? And they're like the top-notch earpods, like the top-notch Apple earpods. The Amazon Dots, like the Echo things, right? And big screen TVs. Like, there was a bunch of giveaways. And so, yeah, I got to DJ for that. So that was dope. And so I say that to say this, that if you are coming from that side of things, right? If you've never heard of me or anything like that, and you're just joining this journey now because you may have seen me with the U92 stuff, thank you for joining. Like, this is a journey that we have been on for a long time, and I appreciate everybody's support and love for joining this journey. And hopefully, you get entertained by the stuff that I'm doing. Maybe there's some knowledge that I'm dropping. I don't know. Whatever it is, I hope that you enjoy it, because I appreciate you just listening or watching if you're on YouTube. I got a drop tomorrow. That's going to drop tomorrow on the IG page of U92. So be sure to go check that out. That's going to be a fun one. Yeah. I also met with a client that I'm going to be possibly producing a podcast for. I met with him, met with his wife, met them and took a look at their studio and whatnot. And they're just looking for some help. And I'm saying them, I'm keeping it kind of discreet, just because if things don't work out, I don't want there to be any weirdness or anything like that. But if things do work out, then you'll see it, and I'll talk about it more. But I'm excited about this one because it's hard to find. But here's the hardest thing for me, is finding somebody that is consistent and committed, right? It's easy to say, yo, I wanna start a YouTube channel, or yo, I wanna do a podcast, or I wanna do this, or I wanna do that, right? But it's easy to say that. It's hard to actually be like, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna stay committed to doing it, right? I'm gonna, this is part of me being accountable, because I've told myself that I want to drop a podcast at least once a week. And so me on a Sunday at 7:30 p.m., I'm holding myself accountable to drop this podcast, right? To stay consistent. And that's the only thing I ask back, is that if I do get down with you, pause. If I say, yo, I'm going to help you out and do this, that, and the third with you, I just ask for that commitment, right? You're going to stay committed to doing whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to shoot a video of you shooting 30 baskets, right? You got to stay committed to shoot 30 baskets, whatever that time frame is. And so that's what this person or this client has showed me, is that they're committed. They followed up with meetings, they followed up with phone calls, they followed up with materials, a lot of things. And so and not only that, but they welcome me into their home. Like, that's a big step, to invite somebody into your home that you have no idea who this person is. They don't know me from anybody, right? They just seen some of my work and they got a couple of referrals, right? But they don't know me. And so for them to invite me into their home where they sleep, the most sacred place that anybody can, invite you into other than their body, pause, that says a lot, and that speaks a lot. So I'm really excited about this. Hopefully the project works out, and hopefully things can produce in the way that I see them, the way that they could be produced, right? So yeah, more to come on that. Man, I'm so happy. If you can't tell, just like, man, so many dope things, man. So many things, and things that I haven't even brought up on here, just because I don't want to say things if they're not already in motion, right? And so again, just thank you guys. Thank you to the 301 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you to the over 500 downloads on the audio side of the platforms. You guys are rocking, and you guys are killing it. I have a bunch of stuff in the works that I think will help all of us. And yeah. Okay, this pod is gonna be short. I think we hit 30 minutes, maybe. Be sure to go on to allrock.com for everything that I got going on. Instagram, Facebook, not really Facebook, but Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. Drerawka on Instagram. That's DRERAWKA. And on YouTube, we are All Rock on YouTube. And yeah, I hope you have the day you deserve, y'all. Until next time, peace.